Oh my God, if I die, I'm a legend. When they lay me down to rest, I know I was always repping. Oh my God, my whole life.
All right, Smith. I'm going to welcome you to the podcast, man. This is Kingscast, and I want you to let everyone know you're going to be on all platforms. Just go ahead and introduce yourself, tell them what you're about and what you do.
Oh, mate, what I'm about going to work, working hard, coming home, having a good time. That's it. Simple as that. Mate, it sounds silly, but like I own my own business. I work hard doing that, and I like to come home. I play cricket, hang out with the boys, have a beer, and when I got nothing else going, just play a few games, and that's how I end up dreaming as well. There's nothing really much to it, eh?
I love how humble you sound when you talk about entrepreneurship and you own your own business. You come home, play games, drink a beer, smile, and have a good time. Now, explain what kind of business you started and why you started that particular business.
I'm a mechanical fitter by trade. So what that means, like I work in mining and manufacturing, fixed plant, rebuilds. So like anything that needs mechanical operation without an engine, generally I can work on. I can fix bearings, shafts, that sort of stuff. Pretty straightforward. And then I got a bit of a lucky break. A couple of companies were looking just for like they call them subcontractors over here. So you own your own business and then you hire yourself out to them at an hourly rate and they pay you good money. You've got to pay your own tax. So I started that, and then once I started subby work, well, that's typical Aussie subcontractor work. I just rolled with it. Like we just kept taking it, and eventually I turned my business into a company. I cut out the middleman. Labour hiring recruitment companies are really big here in Australia. There's a mining boom here 10 years ago. People made all their money and thought, fuck, I'm sick of working. I'll live in that profit margin between what people get paid an hour and what people are willing to pay for the bloke, and I'll live here and I'll make money off every bloke who works every hour. So my business just cuts them out. I will go to the companies that need people and say, look, I can do your job for you. I'll do it less of a rate than what he's going to pay, what he's going to charge, but you're going to get a better deal, 100%. And it's that simple. I go to work, I work hard, put in really, really good effort. My resume and work history speaks for itself. Yeah. And I generally just keep rolling on with work from there. That's why I started it. Simple as that. I'm sick of seeing someone make money off me going to work.
There you go. That's a way to think. What kind of hours do you put in this job?
Mate, 3 days leading to New Year's, I did 34 hours. In New Year's Eve, the day before that, I've done 24 this week already. So it's Tuesday. So I've done 24 hours already this week. I started at 5 a.m. this morning and I finished at 4:30. I do big hours. I do what I have to do just to send the money out and get paid, and
hey man,
what you do to get ahead.
Hey bro, that's an alpha male right there.
Oh mate, it's pretty small hours. I've done some big hours, man. We'll talk about a bit of work if you want to hear some, mate.
Yeah. Well, I only worked 40 hours in 3 days. Yeah, that's a lot of work. But hey, bro, so would this job or this business that you created, is that your baby, right?
Oh, one of them.
One of your babies. One of your babies. What's the other babies you got?
I got girlfriend, my 2 dogs. So I try to make sure I put time in everyone. I definitely feel like my girlfriend feels neglected quite often, but I try to make that up to her. But yeah, this is the main money maker. This is the main, the general entire source that allows me to do all the stuff I do on the side. So it's probably the neglected baby, to be honest. I put a lot of time and effort into it, but I don't care for it. I just do what I need to do. It runs on the smell of an oily rag, while the other things get to do the better, bigger things.
Okay. So, if someone came up to you going, hey, I want to start my own business, what would be some good advice for you to give them to start a business, and tell them how hard or how easy it is to start something?
Oh, look, if someone said to me, I want to start my own business, I'd probably have to ask them why. Like, what's the driver? Like my driver was seeing someone else make money off me regularly by me going to work, and I knew that they didn't know how I worked. the people that they set me out to work for say, hey man, like you're as good as the best bloke we've had here in ages. Do you want to stay on full time? And I'd make no more money for it. But someone had just made $20, $30, $40 an hour off the last 2 weeks of me busting my balls. And that was my driver. So I'd have to ask them, why? Why do you want to start your own business? And what's the end goal? Like, I think if your end goal is just to make money, then you're doing it for the wrong reason. My end goal is to work less, make the same money, and still have a good quality of life. Simple as that. Like, I know it doesn't sound like a work less, but like there's weeks I go away for 2 weeks at a time, come home, and I can have 4 weeks at home, pay myself every week, and enjoy myself. And that's what you got to look at too, is what's your budgeting skills like? How legitimate are you when it comes to, like, I get bulk money come in, but I can't just spend it straight away because then I've got to go to work again to make that money.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, like I said, and I think it comes down to that. I did it all because I was sick of working. Like I've had 100-hour weeks, mate, in my lifetime. I'm 28. I've had years and years of 80, 90, 100-hour weeks. And I was like, fuck this. I'm over it. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to work less, earn the same, and still have time off. And yeah, that's a big drive for me. So that's why you ask someone, like, why are you doing it? If it's just to make money, you're probably in it for the wrong reason.
Well, since we're on the topic of your business, in year 2021, do you have any big business goals included with your business? I'd
like to. I've only ever employed myself and my girlfriend. So we're also the director and secretary in the company. So I'd like to get to the point where I can employ maybe 1 or 2 blokes, and look to just start branching out a little bit. It's all sort of eggs in one basket at the moment. Every time I go to work, that's where I work. That's where my business is that week. But 2021, big goal. We'd like to sort of maybe get 1 or 2 guys on a pretty full-time basis, sort of 40 hours a week over the year. So what's that, 2,000 hours over 50 weeks? If I can get someone 2,000 hours of work in a year and pay them well for it, I'll be happy. As far as business goes, yeah.
Now I know I have a job when I moved to Australia.
Oh, mate, you can just be the guy that reaches all the things I can't reach. Well done.
Hey, that's perfect. Now, you said that you do this job and it frees you up with other things that you like to do. What are other like hobbies, career paths, anything else you're driving to do right now?
Well, I'm lucky in that I was the last couple of days thinking about how I could explain the position I'm in, and I like to call it luck by design. Like, I've thought about it. So like I worked really hard, got myself in a position, but then fell into what I'm in now. So like I didn't actively go, I want to start this engineering company, I want to be blah, blah, blah. I just sort of worked hard, made a few contacts, and eventually I sort of fell in. And then this current contact I'm working for at the moment, I've got 5 years work for him, 5 years for myself. And if I could get, yeah, so I don't know. It's a difficult one, man. It's like, what do you do? Like, it's I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I'm going to keep moving forward. But like the work I've got at the moment, I'm pretty happy with.
That's awesome, man. Because as long as you can take pride in what you do and keep growing from there, that the future is endless for you. You know what I mean?
Outside of the job I'm in, mate, I think the things that I do, I want to continue to do, but for fun. I don't want to turn them into a business. I enjoy streaming. Like, to answer your question, I think back and answer it properly. I want to continue to stream and play games, but I want that to be an outlet. I don't want that to be my primary avenue for work. I like being separate from it all as well. It's one of the big reasons for me to stay off Facebook is that I think your face gets seen. I'd rather have it all separate. Someone's going to come looking for you on other things as opposed to Facebook gaming throwing you up. Excuse me, Twitch, sorry. But like I would like to make money. I'd like to spend a bit more time doing it and, invest more into what I do outside of it. But I really think the position I'm in the current business is where I think I'm going to continue to keep working and try and fund the stuff so it continues to be an outlet and a fun thing for me. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah. And you're very unique in a way, and I think one day you say you're going to use Twitch and all that and streaming for an outlet, but I think you're very unique. You're an entrepreneur, And look at that mustache you got. And those that are going to be listening to this on other platforms that's just listening, I'm going to just tell you right now, he has a golden mustache. He's got the mustache of the century. And that mustache alone, and being the entrepreneur you are and the golden personality that you have, will bring your streaming to a whole nother level. And
well, like, I appreciate that. I do. I don't know how true it is. The mustache is a bit iffy at the moment. I had to take it off and I'm growing it back, but I appreciate it.
I had to grow my beard out just for this so I can at least have something with you.
The facial hair bros.
Yeah. Except I look crazy with a mustache. I'm going to let you keep that. I'm going to keep my full beard.
I can't grow one, mate. That's why I've only got the mo.
So, I mean, I'm a huge sports fan. So tell me a little bit about how your sports are, because you told me vaguely about the things that you do. Let's tell the audience what kind of monster you are.
All right. So an hour and 20 minutes ago, I just left A-grade cricket training. I've been playing cricket since I was 11, I believe. Here in Australia, that's like a massive summer sport. It's actually the fastest growing sport in Australia currently. Yeah, look, I played cricket. I've grown up, played rugby league, rugby union. I played state Premier League soccer as a kid. I thought about this today because it only just happened recently for me. I was playing cricket and someone was like watching me. And in cricket, you sort of hit the ball side on. So your leading shoulder and hip lead into it, and then that's where you draw your power. You try to keep your hip square with your shoulder and play through. And this older guy, he's South African, he's watching me bat, and he's getting more and more confused, and he's angry, and he's like, "What are you doing? I don't understand. Like, you're breaking my mind watching what you're doing." And I'm like, "What do you mean, mate?" And he's like, "You turn your back hip into it, but then you play the ball through the right hand side, but you shouldn't be able. You've got no business hitting the ball there." So we sat down, we're talking. "What sports you played?" And then eventually went, "Oh, I did 3 years of martial arts, mate." And he's like, I said, way before I played cricket, it was martial arts, and I'm generating power by turning my hip into it, which, yourself, UFC, your martial arts, your boxing, all your power comes from your hip. Your hip moves first before your hands and shoulders move.
Mm-hmm.
And the same for me in cricket. So I've got this really bent technique. Like, I've got a guy I play with who's the high school. They have a cricket academy at the school. He's a teacher for it, and he watches me. We play together, and he goes, "Yuck." So yeah, to answer your question, like, I did martial arts for 3 years, like Wing Chun Kung Fu, which is Bruce Lee style. We did a bit of everything. I was always allowed to do what I wanted. Play touch football, volleyball, t-ball. So it works, mate. If there was a school sport in high school, if there was a sport that I could play and I would get a day off school, I put my name down. I did it.
When I was in school, we didn't get no days off, so we were.
Oh, no, mate. I went state school in Australia, mate. You get the day off.
I should have went to high school there.
Mate, in high school for year 8, year 9, which is, I think, like your middle school going into high school, I'd go to school 2 days a week in winter. There'd be rugby league, rugby union, touch football, soccer. I'd be playing under 15s, 16s, opens, put my name down for the lot. I'd raise it dive. Mum and Dad get a phone call going, "Well, he's never at school." And they realised that I was getting on a bus and then going to another ground, playing another game. "Are you ever there?" And I'm like, "No, this is sick."
"Mom, I'm playing rugby. Leave me alone."
"Leave me alone, Mum. I'm trying to kill people out here."
Oh, man. So how often are you ever in America, man? I saw some of your pictures.
Well, I've been there twice. I spent probably a total of 6 weeks in America. I learnt to snowboard a couple of years back. My girlfriend taught me. She'd gone the first year we got together, and then we went to Australia, and then it just happened that year that, Vail Resort in Colorado, they bought the resort that we had a season pass for in Australia. And what that meant was we could go to any Vail Resort in America, not pay a cent for a lift ticket, and we could go. So we went, "Fuck it, let's go." So we flew into San Francisco, had a few days there, flew up to Reno, drove down to South Lake Tahoe, snowboarded for a week and a half, had my girlfriend's birthday there, went to LA, come home. And then, like, not even 10, 12 months later, 11 months later, we're back there in Colorado snowboarding again because we just couldn't get enough of it, mate.
Bro, I've never snowboarded before, so you need to fly back to America, show my big ass how to snowboard since I'm 6'7", top heavy. You're going to have to teach me, man.
Yeah, look, like, all my technique is going to be different. I'm all hips, mate. I'm all Low center of gravity are perfect for the sport.
Oh, so let's dial it back a little bit. So, entrepreneur, streamer, entertainer. What was the child you like? How did you go from all this to how you were in the past? Like, how was your past coming up to your choices now?
Um, I don't want to say that I had a rough upbringing, but like my mum never worked as a kid. My dad would work. We moved from the area we grew up as a kid. Like I was 6 years old. Dad was working an hour and a half away. So we moved to the area. I ended up growing up from 6 till 23. And even when we got there, mum still didn't work. And it's going to sound silly. Dad might have made 40 grand a year, which I don't know if it's a lot in America, but in Australia, it's like minimum wage. You can't make any less. And meanwhile, I'm playing soccer as a kid in Australia. That's expensive. At 10 years old, it's like I think it's about $200 a year to play without getting any shorts and socks you had to buy yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had it pretty thin as far as financial side of stuff went. But like by the time I was 10, I was playing state Premier League soccer. Dad drove me everywhere. I played 6 days a week. But yeah, look, growing up from then on, eventually, your mates started playing rugby. Yeah, things, were getting a bit bumpy with mum and dad. I went, no, I'm going to play rugby instead. So I waited till they got drunk one night and asked them because mum always said no. Rugby's pretty dangerous. And I waited till they got drunk, said, I'm going to play for school. Just let me play with my mates. She said, like, yeah, whatever, that's fine. Next day, woke up, they're rubbing their head going, oh, I'm over. I just told my kid he could play rugby.
Shoot, that's how I took my mom's car a bunch of times. Wait till she's either asleep or drunk. So I feel you.
Yeah, and then just growing up, it was just sort of like mum and dad split up when I was 16. I'd just left school. I'd had enough. Like I'd always had that potential. I could have gone and done a lot academically, but I never had that drive. Or like I've got school reports, like a dozen school reports saying Kieran settles for mediocrity. He just does what it takes to get P's. And I'm thinking, I grew up with mum. She went to uni when I was at high school, and she's going, P's get degrees, P's get degrees. You don't have to work too hard, just get a pass. So like that was ingrained in my head. So it's like, man, mediocrity is fine as long as you're not failing. And then eventually, and then I become obsessed with rugby league. 14, 15. Like I'd given up soccer completely. I played another year after going at rugby, swapped back, and I just was like I'm pretty athletic. I ran quick, and I always thought I was a bit of a skinny kid, but it turns out I found out later on I wasn't. But I decided I'd go to TAFE, which is like a tertiary education, sort of like college or university, but like one step below, almost like somewhere between like high school and I suppose community college or something, where anyone can go. So I went there and I did a fitness diploma. So I become a qualified fitness specialist by 17. Went 3-4 days a week. It was an hour and a half from my house. I'd get a train. I'd get up at 5:30 in the morning, be on the train at 6 a.m., get home at 5 o'clock, go straight to rugby training. So yeah, that's how I hit the gym. I started bulking up. I put on about 30 pounds in eight months.
There you go.
And look, I've even researched it so you understand what I'm saying. I put about 30 pounds on in about 6 to 8 months, and I went from playing a little man position or big man position in rugby, and I was hammering it, mate. And then I knew I was on the cusp. Like here in Australia playing rugby league, like especially on the East Coast, you've got this position like you've got the NRL, which is as good as it's going to get, and then they've got their under 20 system, which is the NYC. They've got an under 18s, under 16 system. And I'd missed the 16 system because I was too small. I wasn't that good. I wasn't doing anything. Like I was doing an outrageous stuff, but there was other guys that could do it better. And then I missed the 18 system, and it was starting to really hurt. So I went, fuck, I'm going to hit the gym. And I just happened to play one game in front of a player manager when I was 17 and a half. And I got a Facebook message of a dude I knew from the rep team somewhere. Said, hey, manager wants to call you. I'm like, bro, I don't think he's got the right bloke. Because I think I was crook. I'd come off the substitute bench. I'd spewed in the corner of the field, and I'm like, this bloke must be high, like what sort of player manager goes to dude spewing? And he ran. I gave him a number. He rang me. Yeah, you're number 15. I said, yeah, it was. He goes, nah, 100%. You're the bloke I want to talk to. And I'm like, oh, righto. He's like, how old are you? I said, oh, 17 and a half. He goes, oh, well, can you bring your mum or dad up? We'll have a chat. And he threw a contract down in front of me. All of a sudden, I'm signed with an agent, mate. I'm like, what? He says, yeah, man, I'll get you some trials. We'll get you on. I'm going, this is wild. Like, I've been trying for years to be here. And all of a sudden, I'm a manager. I'm getting trials. I'm like, what the fuck? What's going on? And then I got a trial at Penrith Panthers. And at the time, I'd done all right in the NRL, but NYC was killing it. They were the powerhouse. They had a lot of Polynesians. Like, I think they were 40% Polynesian in their whole area. They got the biggest junior rugby league competition in the world. And they said, oh, you want to try? I said, yeah, righto. And you had to write down positions. I suppose it'd be like being, tight end, writing down your positions. I wrote down 2 that I played regularly, and I just picked 2 that I'd done. Next thing you know, they hand me the quarterback's jersey in rugby. You're number 7, mate. You're doing it. And I'm like, oh fuck, all right. give it a go. And then we're playing the Bulldogs. And the Bulldogs are another team in the NRL. They had a 20s team there. We had Penrith 20s. I'm like, fuck, here we go. And they were huge. They were hammering us. And the speed of the game was so quick. And they said, look, we'll take you out of the quarterback. We'll give you the number 9, which is like the guy who passes it to him. And I bang this ball out, kick it, and it just lands perfect in the corner. I wow this dude, crunch him, send him in the in goal, we get the ball back. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's a moment, It was one of those moments, key moments in the game. And I got a phone call 2 days later, said, you're in. I was like, oh, in where? He's like, you're in with Penrith, mate, you're doing it. And I'm 18 years old, going, this is wild. This is all I've ever wanted, mate. So I threw my heart and soul into it. I played with, I think it's 6 guys that have gone and played internationally for their countries.
Oh, there you go.
Squad. But I tore my hamstring doing squats, and they more or less, I wasn't the fittest guy because I come from the country. I didn't play the city rugby league, which is a lot quicker. So yeah, I played country, so it was a little bit slower, a bit more like the farm boys. You talk about the farm boys.
Hey, the farm boys are guys. Big and strong.
Well, I played those sort of comps, but they weren't quick, they weren't skillful. So like the guys that had played the farm boys that had already got moved to city. So I was a bit behind the 8 ball fitness wise, and I tore my hamstring. Did grade 2 hamstring. I was struggling with the rotator cuff tear already, and they pretty much said, mate, see ya. And I was like, oh, what? It's a Saturday. I've just driven all the way back from they take everyone out to the sand dunes, and they kill them on the sand dunes. And I was like, I just come back from the sand dunes yesterday. You're kidding me? Like, this is rough. And I go home. I don't know what to do. I ring my mum. She's like, oh, what about that rugby union tour? And I was like, what? And I was meant to go to Florida when I was 18 to go play rugby union. And I'd gone, nah, I'm not coming. It was too late to get back on that. So I missed on 2 rugby things, mate. Hecking myself. And then, 4 days later, my mate's dad just said, hey, do you want a job? I said, yeah, fuck it, why not? I'll give it a go. And he goes, you want to build some wind turbines? And I said, oh, yeah, why not? $800 a week. Which, oh, that's sweet. Nah. I rock up there at 18, mate. They're paying me $2,500.
Dang.
Mate, it was ridiculous. So I just fell in love with it. I couldn't believe it. I could go to work, and it was like physically demanding work. So I was fit. I was, moving these big hydraulic wrenches all the time. I was ripped. I was climbing towers, up ladders. So I just lived and breathed that for a while, man. Like, I'd hook in, get a project, take time off. Do 3 months, have 3 months off. Do 3 months, have 3 months. And that's how I lived my life for years, man. From 18 to 21, 22 before I met my girlfriend, I travelled. So like I'm in Western Australia right now, and I'm from the east coast of Australia. It's about 3,500 kilometres, so 2,600 miles. I used to live on the east coast, and I'd travel all the way over here and work. Yeah, so I just lived and breathed, and eventually I met my girlfriend after a couple of years of working away, and fuck, I'll go home. And yeah, then eventually someone snaked me back in, said, come do it. Yeah, right. So I did wind farms for a few years, 8 years, I think, all up.
There you go.
So, I was at the top of these, 300-foot towers, and I'm on the radio talking to a 600, 700-ton crane saying, yeah, mate, hook down, oh, stop. A little bit further, and I'm putting big bolts in and bolting things up with big old rattle guns. Like, yeah, that's how I ended up where I am, man. I worked hard and enjoyed myself and partied really all around Australia. I met some blokes from overseas that I still talk to every now and then on Facebook, and yeah, that's where I learnt it all, mate. I learnt it all there. Like, I think that's where like I know you and I have spoken about networking.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell who's good at it, who's bad at it, and it's not necessarily like you're having a go at them when you say they're bad at it. It's just like they don't have the nuances of skill and how to sort of extract information out of people. So you can say, look, man, I'm similar. I've got similarities to you, like it's hard.
Yeah.
Whereas I learned it there at 18. These people like they look, you go, here's this young dude. He's not going to be here. Like he doesn't know what hard work is. And you went, mate, I'll show you hard work. I'll be there.
Yeah.
And that's where working with all these people all over. That's where I learned how to network as well.
I love your story in a way because you've gone from a past that's how you described it to sports to working building turbines to almost making a few other leagues to then streaming and gaming. The thing is it only takes some sort of obsession, some sort of drive that your mind has, because you're getting up at 5 a.m. just to go travel, to go to the gym, to go rugby practice, and you probably still do that same sort of drive, that it became such a habit for you that you don't realize the average person doesn't usually get up early in the morning to go work in the mines and then go play cricket and then jump on a stream.
Yeah, look, mate, I think the thing is, I'm fully aware that I'm obsessive. I have a joke. My mum used to work in disabilities, and she used to come home and tell us all the time, no matter what you think, everyone's on the spectrum. And we're like, the spectrum? She talked about the autism spectrum. There's varying levels of it. And she said to me, you're so far on the spectrum, you're lucky you haven't been diagnosed. Because I've never met anyone who's so obsessive and isn't on the spectrum. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, you wanted to play rugby league, you wanted to be professional, and you trained your ass off. You would get up, you'd go to TAFE, you'd go to the gym, you ate well, you bought your own protein, you did all this stuff, and then you got the chance and they took it away from you. Fuck it, you're not doing it again. She's like, you started making some money. She's like, I'm going to keep doing this, She's like, I know I'm obsessive. I don't realize it at times. I lose track of my obsessiveness.
Mm-hmm.
And things that I've noticed that challenge me neurologically or like physiologically, things that force me to use my hands, arms, body in different ways while my brain's trying to tick it over, that really sucks me in.
Yeah.
It was only the other day I went to the driving range playing some golf with my girlfriend and a friend. And a friend was struggling, and I was trying to explain a few things. Next thing you know, she's clean hitting these balls, and she was, how do you know this? And I said, my girlfriend took me to the driving range, absolutely outdrove the shit out of me. I couldn't get anywhere near her. I was slicing. I became obsessive. I bought a golf club set. I was playing 4 games of golf in 4 days when I had a long weekend. It's like I was obsessive.
There you go.
She's like, what? She goes, what helped you get over it? And I said, I just hit this point where I thought, yeah, that'll do. I can hit it real far now. I'm done.
There you go.
And then even now, I still go down there and hit a ball, and I get shitty, and I start looking at what I was doing. And go,
Dude, one of these days you're gonna take off in something that you obsess with, and they're gonna make a movie about you. He did every sport. He was professional: rugby, volleyball.
I'm not sure about that.
Olympics and shot put.
I'll probably write I'm pretty sure. Like I told you before, my niche in Hollywood was like the short, fat, funny dude, and Jack Black's got that sewn up, mate. Like that would have been me, but he was here 20 years before me, so he beats me. And he's got a better voice, and he's better at guitar.
Nah, he about to retire, bro. So we need another guy. So usually he grows the beard out. You got the mustache. You'd be the Jack Black with the stash.
Like Nacho Libre?
Yeah, like Nacho Libre.
No, they just go like, this guy tried. That's what they do, man. That's the story.
Oh, man. So with everything that you've done, leading from building turbines, sports, what brought you to streaming? What made you go, okay, I want to pick up video games. I want to pick up some streaming, entertain some people from all over the world.
So like this year just gone, I always enjoyed video games. It wasn't until I think 2012, 2013, I was working away a lot, come home, my mates were playing Call of Duty Black Ops 2. And I didn't understand. I was like, what the fuck? Who plays this shit? Like, I've heard of Call of Duty, but it's just shit, man. You're like, mate, have a go. Trust me. And I had an Xbox at home that I'd made a barter deal. I bought someone a fishing rod. They gave me an Xbox. So I was like, all right. And again, obsessive, mate. I'm not kidding. I had a girl walk in my room once when I was 18, 19 years old, and she stood in front of my television. She's like, "You gonna get off?" And I said, "Get the fuck out of the way, mate." She's like, "What?" I said, I'm on a hot streak. I'm about to get my VTOL." And she's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Get it, nuts!" And she left. She never come back. And I was like, and I didn't care. I was like, how dare she not let me get my VTOL? I wanted that swarm. I needed canine dogs in Black Ops 2.
Bro.
And but I was obsessive, mate. My hands, I had my hands doing things I didn't understand. You know, you pick it up, Xbox controller, you're playing the first time, and yeah, your sensitivity's on 6 because your mate plays on 6, and next thing you know, you're like, how the fuck do you do this? So like becoming good, that bothered me that I wasn't as good as my mates, and then I played Call of Duty a lot of the way through. Yeah, for a couple of years when they went to the jetpack era, I didn't like it. I'm not a fan. And then like this year with COVID, I was on the East Coast working. I was meant to go see my mum between 2 jobs when I was there, and that all got cancelled, mate. The town I was in, people dying from COVID. They just let this cruise ship dock in the main city. I'm going, oh, fuck this. I've just lost $1,000 in flights I couldn't have. I came home and I got paid really well. And then the government started giving companies money. So, like, because I'm set up the company, they said, well, you got to pay your employees. Little did they know that I didn't really have any employees and I already had been paid. So instead of trying to get work and I had money, I just sit at home and play games. I thought, fuck it, I'll spend some money, do some shit at home, and I'll play some games with my mates. And I got a mate who's similar to your age. He said, why don't we broadcast? I'll just play, bro. I don't want to fuck that. And then one day, just I went looking. I thought, who else is going to be home right now playing games? I was like, maybe some really good Aussie streamers. So I started Googling Aussie streamers. And I fell into Discord. And I had Discord years ago, but I thought, I popped in this Discord and fluffed my way through. Said, yeah, I streamed a little bit. I'd never streamed in my life. And hooked up with a couple of boys. I think they're even part of your originals, mate. Even old Mitchell Boy and Godsey.
Yep.
Boys.
Yep.
I just sort of said, look, I'm sort of getting into it. And then the networking started. And that's where I was like, fuck, this is sick. Like, I've got your Discord. I've got a couple of boys that I met on an Aussie Discord. I sort of put a bit more time and effort into the smaller ones. And the ones like your own, that started as yours, and now it's like, that is a stream. What is it? What do we call it? The proud streaming community. I can't remember change names, but like I really enjoy that. So that's where I sort of come from. And then I realised it wasn't that weird to sit in front of the camera and play games, even if you're not good. If you can laugh and people go, man, you're shit. You're like, fuck yeah, but you're still watching. Like that's what it comes from. That's where it comes from. It just comes from a place where I just enjoy playing games. And I think if you're streaming games that you genuinely enjoy, people are gonna pick up on that. I think like sometimes changing games for the sake of trying to build a viewership, I think it's disingenuous.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think and I haven't got a problem. You want to try it? Let's go for your gold. And if you turn out the game fine, I just you come and watch me play Warzone. One time I put off maybe 8, 9, 10 kills, and it's like, yeah, this is sweet. Next 6 games, I don't get a kill. I'm back in the gulag before the last dude jumped off the plane, and I'm done. Like I've had it happen heaps, mate.
Oh yeah,
I just laugh at it. Like this is gaming, mate. So like, and I'm lucky enough. My company bought me the current PC that I play on. It was a work expense, and I decided to try and pick up playing keyboard and mouse just for something different, and that's got me hooked, mate. Like playing keyboard and mouse is just something completely different. It's something I've never played since back when I used to play Age of Empires when it came in a cereal box.
Oh, classic.
I've got it on this PC, mate. I've been meaning to stream it.
Really?
Yeah, I've been meaning to stream a bit of. Wait till I get really trashed by someone and get old Big Daddy out and start blowing them up.
Yeah, I actually still have Age of Empires 2 and 3 on my computer.
I've got 1 and 2, mate. I just can't beat number 1. When you got like a little dude with the club trying to beat it, you can't beat that.
No. So with everything like that, when it comes to streaming, I have to agree with you. It's the viewers are gonna come and go. All right, so it's the stories that you tell why you game. So you can win a match to be, let's say, 20 kills, drop a 20 bomb, and that story would be awesome. But it's the story that usually comes after the big wins. It's how people see your adversity and how funny you can be. Bro, because I don't want to watch a guy that is like, not everyone's going to watch Tfue. We only have one Tfue. We only have one Nick Merckx. We only have one few other big-time streamers. But everyone else, you better be bringing your personality because that's what I want to see.
Yeah, look, I tend to agree, and I think that's where the value is. Like, I think it might have even been where I've sort of picked up some viewers is when I was away. So when I first sort of met you on Discord and we started talking, that I was working away a lot. Like I remember being on a gold mine, or when I was coming home from work of the afternoon, we're in this shitty little room. I've got my mobile phone, but I'd jump on Twitch and I'd hassle the boys that were streaming. So Mitchie used to cop it, Godsy would cop it. And that's when I saw chat would start rolling. And I realized, like, even though I'm not streaming, I'm still giving back to these boys. So his chat was, and his gameplay was terrible. Mitch was shocking. Whenever his chat started going, it was hilarious. Man, you suck, you suck. And he was like, shut up, Smithy, shut up. But it was just a laugh, mate. Like, and that's what it all is to me, you know. Like, I'm just trying to build communities and networking, and that's where I think, you know, the viewers enjoy that conversation too, and that's the hard part. Sometimes if you're sitting there, I find, and you're not talking already, and someone pops in, or you haven't been looking at your other screens, you're like, well, no one's here. They don't know they can talk, but if they see a conversation, right, something funny, they'll write lol. Lol. That's all it takes. Get someone in. Once you get a lol out of someone, they're suckered, man. They're going to keep coming back because they want to come and hang out. And people love hearing you say, oh, hey, how are you, mate? What's happening? You look at your camera, you wave, say g'day, and they go, fuck, this guy noticed. And that's one of the things for me is like, as a small streamer, and one of the things that matters to me is that I can say g'day to someone and ask them, remember if they tell me, you know, where you're from. Oh, you're from the States? Which part of the States, man? Oh, yeah, I know where it is. Sick. And then they go, oh, that was worth it. They'll always come back, mate. And I don't care if they turn around and say, you know, they give you a sub. I don't give a fuck, mate. I just want someone to come and hang out sometimes.
Oh yeah, and sometimes
all that
that's
matters
what's
to me.
worth it. Yeah, exactly. Because sometimes, like when you're gaming on let's say a long stream, let's say usually my streams last about 3-4 hours. Just the conversation alone makes it worth it.
Yeah.
Like I said, money comes and goes. You own your own business. I run a lot of side things. I work as well. We get paid. So the streaming thing, money will come and go, and I get that. Even myself wouldn't mind streaming being a good source of income, but the thing is, it's the people part of it. I'm loving the community aspect of it. So that's what I fell in love
look,
with it.
I 100%. And I probably find there's times when I probably pop into more people's streams and spend more time in their stream than I would stream myself. Like I worked really hard to hit affiliate when I couldn't run a camera. I was running a PlayStation 4 into an old work PC through a capture card. Excuse me. And people still hung around because they thought I was there slagging my mates off, you know, chipping in the dude. They die. Like, oh, dude, what the fuck? You suck. And just like having a good time. And they still, once I hit affiliate, I sort of stopped a bit. I went, well, I got that little affiliate thing, and I thought, what am I going to do about it? And that's when I went, build a PC, make it worth it, and have a good time. So people can actually see how much I enjoy myself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Like, I think giving people access to see someone having a good time, enjoying themselves like to no end, and laughing with their mates, that's number one, man. Because like not everyone's got access to their console, their mates aren't online. But if you come and have a chat, and everyone's sort of having a laugh. Oh, so and so in chat, Mitch, he said you suck, man. That's a laugh, man.
Oh
They
yeah.
can go and give, you know, like, and that's what it is. You sort of build up. I know Mitch has a really good following, and I like going in his chat because when I pop in, they're like, "Oh, Smitty, what's going on? It's been ages." I'm like, been working, guys. You know, it's just a little message, but you can see that everyone's like, I get excited, mate. You know, and I like that. I think it's funny.
Yeah, Mitch is a good man, bro. Like his streams are fun. He's a good player as well. So I like jumping in his chats as well.
I reckon his miss is a better gamer.
I actually have never seen her game.
When she was on that affiliate grind, mate, I jumped on her. I'd take screenshots if she had more viewers than Mitch and send it to him. Oh, she's way better than you, bro.
Oh man. So now that we've talked about a lot of the biggest points of your life, what is the future now? What's the future look like? What's your plans going forward, and what is you in 5 years? 2 questions.
What are my plans going forward? So, my girlfriend and I think we're looking to buy a house together. So that's pretty big, I suppose. Over here, it's a massive investment. So that's pretty big. And I'd like to sort of, if I'm going to buy a house, set it up in a way that I can still have this sort of setup. You know, because like I know you can't see it, but like there's a dirty little desk down there with a lot of paperwork that I should be taking care of in the corner with 2 PCs. There's this one here. I normally have my cricket gear in here. Like I love it. I love it. It's like, have you ever watched Bridge to Terabithia?
Mm-hmm.
And you know how they go to that little creek?
Yeah.
That's this room to me, man. I walk in here and all my stuff's here. All these things that I like work really hard at, and it just looks like rubbish on the desk. But to me, I'm like look around. Like, there's a guitar here. There's a filing cabinet and shit. There's a printer up there that can print shit that I don't even know what to do with it, man. Like, but it's just fun. Like, I come in here and this is where this is where I do a lot of my stuff, mate. You know, like, so I keep treading on my cable. This is where I do a lot of my. This is where I come to relax, really, at the moment. That's what I sort of explain to my girlfriend, you know. So 5 years from now, I think I'd still like to be doing what I do for work. I'd like to keep doing my engineering stuff. I'd like that to be my main, you know, minimum 40 hours a week, because I get outdoors. You know, I've done nearly 17,000 steps today. I'm active. I work with blokes that I get on with, and I enjoy the work I do. And I still like to be able to come and play Black Ops 9 or whatever's out. Session it, and yeah, just keep hanging out with the boys that I play with, mate. I don't know what else. Like, I'm pretty simple. Like I kept telling you, there's not a lot going on for me. I just like to do the things I do.
And that's what I love about you, because the fact that, like, a person from an outside perspective like myself, I see a lot going on, because how many people can go, I own my own business, I play cricket, did rugby, stream, chill with my girlfriend, about to buy a house. That all that combines into a really big story for you. And I love the fact, because you're such a hard worker, such a humble person, with an obsessive nature. Because in order to succeed in any of those things that you've listed that you've done in your life, you got to have some sort of successive nature, or obsessive nature, excuse me. Because to be obsessed in fitness is the way you're gonna have to get to the elite level for sports. And with you, you've gotten so used to it, it's gotten second nature. And that's probably my favorite thing about you, is you're able to hold that nature about yourself and be super chill and humble about it.
Oh, well, appreciate that. I do.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard many nice things lately. It's a bit weird over here. My girlfriend, get off that game. No, I'm just kidding. Nah, she's alright.
Oh,
I
can relate.
I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know. I think I don't realise at times how hard I'm working. Like, I got really sick a few years back, and I was at that point where, fuck, I've really been burning the candle at both ends, man. Like, I was working 60 hours by lunchtime on Friday. I'd go to cricket training anytime I could. I'd play cricket on a Saturday, goes for 8 hours. Like, it's a big day in the sun. It's not too, like, I was crook. I had the worst flu of my life, and thank God it wasn't COVID. But I mean, I had the body aches, the head cold, I was coughing, I was so unwell, and I was like, I think it's just like, this is my biggest thing. And I've told my mum this, and I'm not really too much, and it's going to sound horrible. But all I ever wanted in life was to do better than my dad, because he didn't provide that well for us. And all I want to do is put my own position that if I had as much as what he had and threw away, that I could keep it and they'd be happy. So like I owe a lot to my girlfriend. I think all the time I try to support her any way I can, but she supports me far greater. Like, she puts a lot more effort into supporting me, because I've got so much going on in my hands, and I'm juggling so much, but I don't realise it. But like, I try to be as supportive for her, and she's just as good to me, if not better.
Man, it's relatable. And that's a good one right there, bro.
Oh yeah, mate. I can't get over how good I've got it, mate.
So we are coming up to the tail end of this podcast. So again, if there's anything, if you want to talk about your business, we got viewers still coming in. Tell people again what your business is, business name. If you want to do a shout out to your stream or your friend's streams, anything you want to say and want to shout out to, this is the last time to do it.
Oh, mate, I'm not sure what to say. Look, I'm mechanical fitter. I work in mining, anything like that. My business is Omni Fixed Plant Maintenance. I went to go for all fixed plant maintenance, but that name was taken, and Omni is just Latin for all. So I went with that, and bang. I can turn a little O at the start into a nice little sprocket like a gear tooth. I mean, that'll do me. So I've got a few logos made up. Yeah, I mean, like if people want to come watch it, slightly overweight, sometimes funny, fitter rock up and play some games and slag off his mates, they can come to the stream if they like. Smithside 7 after twitch.com, twitch.tv. Like they can come by, I don't mind. Like there's no reason not to come by. If you've got time, say g'day and I'll have a laugh for you. I'll do something. Like I'm pretty simple, man. It's just like none of this is like a big deal to me. It's all part of it, you know. Like it's all just little pieces that make up my day. Like it's that, and that's what I enjoy about it.
That's so, man. I actually really enjoyed this one because I love hearing how humble someone can be in your position. So I do have about 5 more minutes, and I just want to say that I really appreciate you accepting my offer to come on this and telling your story. I know we could probably talk about you all day long because the stuff that you told me about, you're just so humble and it's so chill. It's inspiring for myself as well. I'm doing 1,000,001 things. I told you what I'm doing. I'll be making announcements in my Twitch in the next probably 4 weeks. I got a big business venture that's happening, and it's going to come out in April. So it's exciting to hear your story because we both have very similar stories, and knowing how in a way you've made it, but you're still doing it. You're still, moving along. So I'm definitely happy of have you part of my team, part of my family, and so on and so forth. So I appreciate you jumping on, man.
Oh no, look, this is all my pleasure, mate. I'll be honest, I love podcasts anyway. I listen to them flat out, and then when you started one, I was like, "Oh, unreal! Like I can't wait to listen because you've got. I feel like you've got really good access to some of the people, like the street taco eater. I watched that and I was like, this dude's hilarious. Like, and he's like, not. I don't mean it's rude. He's an older bloke and he's still doing it. And I was like, I could relate to that. And then, I watched I listened to Dusty Grants the other day, and I was like, this dude's just popped up on Spotify. And you talk about how old he is, 39, is that right? Like,
Yeah.
I was like, and he's still grinding. And I think like in 10 years, I was like, man, how good's that? Like, how that's what you need to do. Like we spoke about the other day, I think you've got to have people around you in your network that are always reaching. If you start finding that there's too many people that are happy where they are, you've probably become happy where you are. And that's where you're no longer trying, and that, like, I know there'll be times where my girlfriend would tell you, I don't try. And it's not because I don't try, I'm worn out. And it's because I want to keep always moving forward, but I don't know how sometimes either. And I think sometimes you can wear yourself out by banging it out and trying all these little avenues that don't work. But occasionally, the wall breaks through and bang, you're straight into something big. And that's what's sort of worked out for me. And that's why I've enjoyed, I feel like the streaming and the networking around Discord with yourself and all the, the originals, the guys that I met, the people I'm still meeting, that's been unreal for me because, I tried a lot of little things and this one's broken off. I like it and I enjoy it and like work's the same thing. That's why I kind of, I make a concerted emphasis to say that I want to keep doing what my business does and make this thing more of an avenue of relaxation because I really do enjoy that side of it.
Oh yeah. And also the chat, Savannah Ray Boutique is also saying thank you for sharing your story.
No worries, Sav. Appreciate it.
It's going to be a good one, man. And anyone that is going to be missing this, because you'll be hearing this also on YouTube later tomorrow, it's going to be on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Android. So you guys can catch Smith everywhere.
Oh, that's disgusting. That's a scary thought.
And again, find Smith on Twitch. He's hilarious. Him and the boys will always be going after it.
I appreciate that. Cheers. No, that's been a very otherworldly experience, to be honest with you. Something I wasn't expecting, but I do appreciate it.
Oh, of course, man. I got to share everybody's story. I'm only getting better on podcasting. So, and I tell people, I get DMs now, and people are getting a little bit more nervous. And it's not that I'm trying to aim for the next better person to interview, right? Everyone's got a story. I'm learning something from you today. Like, I'm going to go to work later and be like, damn, Smith inspired me to be a better me in some aspects. And same with Dusty Grant and everyone that I've interviewed. So everyone's story. I mean, someday I'm probably going to be successful in a way because of all of you, all the stories that you guys shared to me. So we're trying to share this to the world so everyone can be more themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, no, look, if you got 2 minutes, I have a little story to tell you. That this is the only time someone has ever told me that I inspired them. And it's going to sound ridiculous, mate, because it only just happened. But my little sister was telling me about telling stories, right? And I was like, well, what do you mean? She goes, like, growing up, you would captivate the table. And I'm like, I don't understand. She's like, you'd tell a story, everyone would hang on your words, and then you'd hit that punchline and people would wet themselves. And she's like, I had to learn how to tell stories. Like, and I was like, what? She's like, I had to be like you because you made people laugh. And now I gotta be honest, my little sister is the funniest person in the world. Like, that was the biggest compliment I've ever had, I think, as far as like being told you're funny, because like I didn't think any of it. I was just a kid, just tell some stupid story, and like people would wait and wait and wait, and I'd hit them with it, and they'd laugh. And I thought, this is great. And you don't realise this is my little sister. She's 5 years younger than me, and she's the funniest person I know. But you know, you talk about inspiring. It's the first time someone actually said to me, like, mate, you know, I wanted to be like you, and I was like me, that's scary. And I think hearing that is when you started your podcast, when I can tell a story. Like maybe someone will be inspired to jump on and do something different and have a crack at it.
Yeah. I mean, you've never, in a way, never gave up. And no matter the upbringing that you've had, you've turned all the negative emotions into a successful, obsessive nature and brought you into who you are today. And it's actually one day I'm going to probably end up be calling you one of my closest friends. And I enjoy every second of it.
100%.
Yeah.
I see it going that way myself, mate. We'll be down there, South Lake Tahoe, hanging out. We told you, we'll come.
Hell yeah. All right, brother. Everyone, have a great rest of your day. If it's morning, good morning. If it's night, good night. So appreciate it again, Smith.
Cheers. Appreciate you.